Spark encapsulates our passion for exploring the vast unknown of unvoiced thoughts and ideas.
This photo is staged. I can tell you that because that's me on the left, and the expressions going on here are totally fake. You can tell this is like a act like you like each other moment. The reality is this photo was taken during our first training row with my ocean rowing team. We had a dream to row unsupported roughly 2,500 miles from California to Hawaii. The day after this photo was taken, we did our first ever training row. We barely knew each other. Almost everything that could go wrong did in fact go wrong, and we were actually almost swept out to sea under the Golden Gate Bridge. So not a very strong start if we were planning on rowing day in and day out for upwards of a month and facing all these unimaginable challenges. We were clearly not there yet. So for the next 9 months, we trained our tails off, okay? We were rowing all the time. We were taking these training trips, and we knew that come mid-June, or late June, July time, we were going to find ourselves in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And the closest help was going to be hundreds of miles away outside of ourselves and the equipment that we had on this vessel. So we had a lot of work to do. We knew that the only way we were going to get to Hawaii was as a team. Speaking of the team, let's meet everyone. So I know that there are a lot of kind of professional ways to assess personality tests. I'm going to use our zodiac signs because I think that's more fun. Everyone's Googled it, right? We all know what they are. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with Libby. She's second from the left, and Libby is a Taurus. Tauruses are known for being bullheaded and stubborn and loyal. Libby's work ethic is unmatched. Like, she runs ultra marathons for fun, so you know the training load's gonna be fine. You know that she's not afraid of discomfort. To her right is Brooke, and Brooke is a Scorpio, who kind of have a bad reputation, but it's because they're intense, okay? And Brooke is passionate. She even moved from Oklahoma to Santa Barbara just to train for this row. She quit her job, changed her entire life. So you know that you can count on that girl. To her right is Adrian, who's a Capricorn. Capricorns are known for being ambitious and critical thinkers. So she was always the kind of person who would say, well, we know how they did it, but how are we gonna do it? Which is really valuable. She's also a business owner here in Santa Barbara and a mom, so all that checks out. I'm the furthest on the left, and I'm a Pisces. Unfortunately, we're mostly just known for crying a lot, which is true, I do cry a lot, but we're also imaginative and creative and kind of detached from reality. We're dreamers, okay? So clearly, our personalities are all totally different, and according to the internet, our compatibility is not looking so hot. By the way, we did do the more professional personality tests, but we got the same result, which is that our perspectives and approaches to life are completely different. And that made it really hard to understand each other. This picture was taken the day before we launched. The photo that I showed you at the beginning and the photo right here are so different. You can tell we're clinging to each other here because we truly believe that our strength comes from our unity. Whereas before we were like, I hope this works, right? So somehow in this preparation, there were so many challenges, so many differences that we had, not only in our personalities, but in our needs and training. Not everyone could do the same workouts. Some people had injuries. Some people got really seasick. And that's kind of scary when you're gonna be at sea. But we learned how to build trust. Somehow we were able to allow each other to be responsible for our successes and our failures and maybe our fate. Hopefully not, but you know, you never know. It's an open ocean. So, after this photo, for the next 34 days, we spent rowing all day, every day. We were laughing, we had sing-alongs, we ate more candy than anyone ever should in their whole life, and my teeth ached afterwards. Okay, we were knocked off our seats by giant waves and smacked in the face by flying fish during dark, moonless nights. We laughed, we cried, and I mean, we just admired how beautiful this landscape is. When we finally got to Hawaii, we were handed pineapples and celebrated breaking the previous world record by a full 24 hours. So how did that happen? We went from people who barely knew each other, who didn't necessarily get along all the time, to being able to do something like this. Well, in addition to other team bonding activities, we had this check-in called PEN, which stands for Physical Emotional Needs. And no, it's not necessarily groundbreaking. You've probably done an exercise like this before, but the way that we did this and we used this, I don't think we would have gotten to Hawaii or even to the start line without it, to be completely honest. So the challenge of this check-in is to avoid explaining or justifying and just use as few words as you can to get the message across. So we're gonna go through it together, and it's gonna be really fun. Okay, so it starts with the physical. What do you feel physically, okay? When we're stressed, we can really kind of get all up in our heads and just be in this kind of survival mode, out for yourself. So starting with this check-in allows us to ground ourselves in our body and slow down. Okay, if we're having an argument, I, first of all, don't agree with you, and maybe I'm like, why are you so upset? But if you tell me, my stomach is churning, my face is really hot, and my hands are like shaky, I know what that feels like. And even though I didn't agree with your argument, I understand how you feel. And now we have a place where we can start to talk. So I've provided you with a little bit of a word bank here because I want you to be able to just see a word that you resonate with, and that makes it a little easier to answer the prompt. So I'm gonna answer the prompt. I'm feeling a little shaky. I'm feeling a little hot, but it's gonna be okay. Okay, so next, what do you feel emotionally? Here's again where vocabulary becomes super important, right? If I just say I'm feeling angry, that's too vague, okay? But if I say I'm feeling frustrated or resentful or annoyed, those are really distinct. And now you can understand a little bit better how I feel, okay? So right now I'm feeling hopeful and a little nervous. Okay, so here's the last one. What do you need? This one's kind of the secret ingredient, okay? And I want you to think about this. Usually when someone asks, what do you need? What they're really asking is, what do you need me to do to make this better? This is not that. This is not about making a request. This is about identifying what your mind, body, and soul need or are yearning for in this moment. And by the way, your need belongs to you, so it's not up to anyone else to fix it or to fulfill it. So it's up to you to identify it, it's up to you to fulfill it, and it's up to you to share it with the people that matter to you. So I want to give you guys an example from the boat. Libby and food did not get along at all. She was nauseous the entire time. And so we're 110 bags of freeze-dried food in, and she is just over it. She's staring pitifully down into her bag of rehydrated chicken and rice, just like, how am I gonna get this down? I'm sitting there in front of her rowing, working on the second hour of my shift, and I ask her what her needs are. The first one she lists is like toast, something that you can eat when you're nauseous. Unfortunately for her, we don't have toast or any other food alternatives, but she still needs that nutrition. Her second need is companionship. So as I'm rowing along there, I'm trying to rack my brain. I'm like, what can I do to show Libby companionship right now? Finally, Libby has an idea. What about train noises, like when you're feeding a kid? And mind you, I'm still rowing, so she's feeding herself, but I'm making the noises. So it starts out with train noises. Chicka, 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 chicka. And then airplane noises. Meow. That one's getting a little faster. Meow. And then alien noises, which I'm not gonna do. But you get the point, right? The result, everyone on deck laughing hysterically, even during a really tough moment, and Libby manages to eat her chicken and rice. So could I fulfill her need of food? No. But knowing that she needed companionship, I was able to show up as her teammate, and we got what needed to be done. I'm gonna give a more hypothetical example. Let's say I've been feeling lonely and out of place. When someone asks, what do you need? My answer isn't, I need you to invite me to more things. It's, I need belonging. Now I have that. That's my need. I can ask myself, how do I foster belonging? Can I decorate my space at home and feel more cozy? Can I invite my friends to hang out with me? I have a starting block to work with now, and it's up to me. And of course, if I tell my friends, they can contribute, they know to invite me to things, but it's different from a request. There are so many ways that you can check in with your teammates and your loved ones, but at the end of the day, it has to be rooted in understanding. It's not enough to follow the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated, because we're different. I can't assume what you need. This check-in makes the implicit explicit. It sparks connection by giving us a deep understanding of each other and an action item, a place to start. By understanding and expressing our underlying needs, we now have direction. So where do we go from here? That part is up to you. Thank you.